Hey everybody, Chris Bryant here. Got a brand new CCNP and SWITCH TSHOOT pop quiz and a little bit of lab work as well. We call this one, Where'd That Come From? Not a question we like to hear in networking a lot, right? But even when things are working perfectly, we need to know where certain values came from, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about in just a moment. Since this change happened over the summer, I want to take about 15 seconds here to mention that the CCNP exams are changing at the end of January. They're actually being refreshed. If you are not familiar with these changes, since they were announced over the summer, people tend to miss them, you need to check out my YouTube channel. I've got 2 brand new videos out there that will tell you exactly what's going on with the changes, what's being dropped, what's staying the same, etc. And check out my 2014 video boot camp for the CCNP as well, because if you don't pass all 3 CCNP exams by the end of January, you get all 3 totally refreshed courses absolutely free. Be sure to check that out. Now let's go to today's question. In HSRP, a pseudo router is going to have both an IP address and a MAC address. Makes sense, otherwise it wouldn't be much of a pseudo router. How does HSRP determine what the IP address of that pseudo router is? Now, if you know that without the choices, fantastic, but today I am going to give you some. A, it needs to be manually assigned. B, it will be derived from the HSRP group number. C, it's the highest IP address assigned to a router in the HSRP group. D, it's the lowest IP address on a router in that same group. If you want a moment to think about it, pause the video because we're going to head right into the answer, and I want to show you a little bit of lab work to go along with that as well. This is the first verification command you should run on HSRP, whether you're troubleshooting or whether you're just verifying your configuration, and it is show standby. There's one default here that's been changed, and you should spot that one pretty quickly. But what we're primarily interested in here is virtual IP address is 172.12.23.1. Well, that, in this particular case, that's the IP address of our router, our pseudo router, if you will. Well, how did it get there? Well, there's another big clue here at the end of that particular line, and that's configured. Now, there is a way that HSRP will determine the MAC address of the virtual router, and that's a subject for another video. But with the IP address, it's got to be configured. You and I have to determine that. And you do that, I'll show you here, we're on a router, but same on a multi-point switch, excuse me, multi-layer switch. Sorry about that. Totally Freudian, I assure you. Stand by. And then you just put your group number, then IP, and then enter your IP address. You can override the virtual MAC address that was dynamically assigned, but it's generally just a good idea just to keep it where it is. But again, the IP address, you and I as the network admins have to hard code that. We have to configure it. And the MAC address we're going to cover in tomorrow's video. So I'll make sure to see you there. I'm Chris Bryant. Thanks for taking today's pop quiz, and I'll see you on YouTube and Udemy.